It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we've got a showcase of shutdown defenses. It's the Colts and the Bengals, and it's all up next.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at what's now known as Paycor Stadium here in Cincinnati. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one, as it'll be the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gautin. To my left, Charles Davis. And Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in off a loss last time out, but they've been playing better than 500 ball the last couple months. 5 wins in their last 8 games. Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And no run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. So here come the Colts to take over for the first time, and leading the way is the number 4 pick in the draft out of Florida. Here's Anthony Richardson.
Well, his ratio was good last week. Most quarterbacks are really excited about a 3-to-1 ratio, but it's flipped in the wrong direction. He threw 3 interceptions, not touchdown passes, and he only had the 1 TD pass in that game. So he's trying to turn that around and find a way for his team to win.
In motion right is Pittman. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give to Taylor. And he tries to keep the legs churning, but he's going to be stopped behind the line.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. You talk about this Bengals defense, currently number 1 in the NFL against the run.
And I know, just like me, you're fired up about this one because this is the irresistible object and the immovable force. They're going head-to-head, number 1 versus number 1. I've talked about that running backs renaissance for a while. Can they slow these guys down? Where's my helmet? I want to play.
Jeez, you are fired up. Something's got to give. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 21 yards there on 3rd down. On 1st down, Richardson. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early. But they pulled up to the task and forced the incompletion.
2nd and 10, back to the air with Richardson. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
Again, it's Richardson. He gets this into the hands of Taylor. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give him 25 yards.
And they'll use him out in the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 14 carries, 58 yards.
You know he's proud of his standing as the league's number 3 rusher, and those linemen in front of him, they're just as proud, but they all have the same goal in mind. Get him to number 1 in the league and celebrate a rushing title at the end of the year. That starts with a good game here. You get a sense of what this game plan might be. They think they can take a few home run shots against this defense. They tried it there on the opening drive, but that ball's incomplete.
On 3rd down, here's Richardson. And that is incomplete. So 2 3rd down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a 3rd, and now they deal with 4th down. And Gay knocks this one through. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty. A lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. Now Richardson back to throw it. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the 1st. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. A throw for Pittman is intercepted. And the Bengals force the turnover. They'll take over at the 10. Remember, Charles, this is the #1 defense in the NFL, and they proved their mettle here, forcing the turnover on the opening possession.
And sometimes when you play a team that has that reputation, that's earned it by their play, the psychology is, okay, they're #1. They have to prove it to us, and they tried to attack. They found out that that ranking was real.
And if history is any indication, when this defense gets off to a good start, look out.
Yeah, their offense plays off of them awfully well, too.
The Bengals now set for their first possession, and it's Pro Bowler Joe Burrow who leads this offense in his 4th season now out of LSU.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that 1 interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with the receiver?
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now it's Burrow. Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
On 2nd down, Burrow. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Tackle made there by Eric Rowe. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And he slings one that's incomplete. Tyler Boyd, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. You look at this Colt defense. Coming into this one, ranked number 19 in the NFL against the pass.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. Ready for the 2nd quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. The Bengals at 8-4 now in the year. Well, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So, you know, they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with 3rd down looming. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he is going to have the Bengals 1st down, maybe by about a yard as they find a way to convert on 3rd and inches. Again, it's Mixon. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
Burrow going to get this into the hands of Mixon, his running back. Now a pause for the injury, and that is as Joe Mixon clearly in some discomfort following that last play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back into 32. Multiple players combined for their team's 1st sack of the game. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
Burrow going for it on 4th. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. The Bengals try it, but it doesn't work out. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Remember last time out they threw the interception on their 1st drive. Good news, their defense backed them up, so it's still 0-0 here as they begin their 2nd possession.
Yeah, and one great way to judge a defense, how do they handle what we call sudden change? When all of a sudden, you know, it goes against their offense and they have to run out in the field and try and put out the fire. Give this one great kudos for getting out there and not letting that interception lead to points. Excellent job by them defensively.
8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3. With that last effort, he topples the 5,000-yard mark for his career.
And that doesn't place you among the absolute greats that have ever played the game, but it's a significant achievement and a very, very solid career.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down. On 4th down, the Colts will call on Rigoberto Sanchez for the punt. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Jones on the return. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. Burrow will throw. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. The ball on the 32. It's 2nd and 2. Now it's Burrow. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. And while all of that was going on with a sack, it appears, unfortunately, we have an injured player. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now it's the backup Simeon. Looking for Higgins, but it is intercepted. Picked off by Juju Brents. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. Well, these defensive coaches, they sure like what they've got in this rookie corner. And with good reason, as you saw there.
He only cost him a day 2 pick, and a lot of people thought he had first-round ability. But when he was available on draft night, that was one where you didn't need the full time to make the selection. You call that pick in early, and he shows why he was so coveted with that interception there.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And now following that turnover, they've got an opportunity here to try to cash in with good field position before intermission. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing. Rough incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. It certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson. The toss here completed to Pittman. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. And Richardson yet again. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Josh Downs, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Colts post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this second quarter. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass his young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
Charlie Jones now from his end zone. The Bengals going to take over late in this first half. And with just under a minute to go, they might try to think about mounting a drive here if they can and get in the end zone. Could potentially tie this game up. They will throw on first down with Burrow. This goes out wide from Mixon. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. First down now with that clock rolling. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. Pass thrown right back to Joe Mixon. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. And the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. And Burrow going to throw again. That's caught one more time by Burrow. It's a gain of 35. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, a 31-yard attempt. McPherson's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point of drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road. On the go.
And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll begin our trip around the NFL with an interesting one right off the bat. And that one just before halftime with the Jaguars out on top. Trevor Lawrence with a couple of touchdown passes there. From there, we head over to the Windy City. Check on the Bears at home, Soldier Field. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Lions. Chase Claypool, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore. Check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. As you can see, the score there in the second quarter. Odell Beckham, a touchdown reception. These two teams making their final adjustments for the second half. And to bring it your way, we go back up to Cincinnati and Brandon Gott.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. Oh, the return is Jones from the end zone. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. He's past the 30. He will score. Touchdown, Bengals.
We've sat in a lot of meetings, and they always talk about the offense taking advantage of beginning a half. Plus, special teams coaches don't listen to that. They want to take advantage with their own unit, and they just did.
Yeah, they trailed in the locker rooms, and they changed that immediately.
I think they drew that one up special. That felt like something he pulled out of his pocket that he'd been holding for a while, and they were able to use it effectively.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and the lead is now 10-7. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. And they find themselves down on the scoreboard following the field goal a moment ago.
And I think even though they trail in the game now, I would consider that a win for their defense, and that's probably what they're telling the offense when they get to the bench. Hey, the onus is on you guys now. Get back out there and get us the lead back.
They go play action with Richardson. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Daxton Hill puts it off, and they will take over at the 29-yard line. They brought the house that time on the young rookie, maybe a little rattled through the pick.
And you have to be prepared for a lot of pressure as a rookie quarterback, because most defensive coordinators are going to test you that way. So when you see that, the ball's got to get out of your hands quickly, and that means your receivers have to understand they have to break off their routes quickly as well.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they'll have good field position here following the interception, and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Boyd. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon. That's his 18th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now, 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on, and remember what I said, it's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up, and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
My bad.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Second down, another run with Taylor. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. 1st and 10, it's Richardson. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Logan Wilson able to record his 5th sack of the season. I don't care if you're taking it in round 1, you're drafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this.
Lessons. All the time you're going to face these lessons. The key for this guy is, will he be able to bounce back in the next one? Because right now, this has not been his game.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
It's a 39-yard punt, 3 on the return, and the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here 1st and 10
at the 33-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Out of his hands quickly to Higgins.
Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. Now it's Mixon running right, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. And they go play action now. Burrow. And he can't escape, and down he goes.
Grover Stewart getting in there for the sack. So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw.
He'll drop to throw. Boyd's the target, and he has it over the middle. And to the 49-yard line, but no further, and obviously he is well short of the 1st. The Bengals bring out their punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. This will be fielded at the 17. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over.
And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
Richardson hit it, he fumbles it.
And the Bengals grab it. And he'll be down at the 6-yard line. Every week we hear talk about create turnovers. In particular, they wanted to force some fumbles. They got one right there.
And it shows you how the game has changed over time. It used to be good enough for a guy to get a sack of a quarterback in the pocket. Now, if you come to the sidelines, you didn't knock the ball.
And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Grover Stewart picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Burrow going to fake to Mixon and now look to throw.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Boy, you'd hate to squander this great field position. Here's 3rd and goal.
Here we go.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Touchdown!
Trenton Irwin.
His 1st touchdown on the year.
And the Bengals get another 3rd-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They run once more with Taylor. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
As Sanchez on to punt here as he sends this one away.
We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals in possession of the football and in possession of the lead as well as we start the 4th. The Bengals drive about to get going. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
And we got a pause following the play because it appears a member of the Bengals in some discomfort. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Burrow to board there for the Cincy 1st.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
DeForest Buckner in on the tackle.
From the 39-yard line, here comes 2nd down and 6.
Mixon will try the right side. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
40 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
A couple of 1st downs on the drive already. As they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge. Here we go.
Mixing up the middle. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They'll give it to Mixon. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Now Burrow changing the look.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Eric Rowe.
And the Colts are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line. So the ball changing hands on the interception, but meanwhile here we do have an injury on the play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
1st and 10, Richardson looks to throw it.
The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they've forced in this runaway contest.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Here's Jones. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. They try to eat some clock with Mixon. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Colts territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. That one looks like he'll throw here.
The pass to Boyd, and he brings it in on the crossing route. Still on his feet. They'll get it inside the 20. And he's got this all the way down to the 5-yard line.
A big play there for Cincinnati. 43 yards. Inside handoff to Mixon. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Juju Brents. And the Colts are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. So a costly INT in the end zone, no less, puts the brakes on their potential scoring drive.
So many teams stick with the passing game down near the goal line because they see it as an extension of what they do between the 20s. But as we said many, many times, the further you drive, the more the field shrinks. And that was a nice job of making a play on the football and coming away with the interception.
On 1st down, Richardson.
That incompletion brings us one step closer to the end of this one. Maybe mercifully, partner. And let's face it, though, no surprise, they're still flinging it around. They have pride, too.
Richardson. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far.
Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And a terrific return there. They're finally able to corral him down near the 11-yard line. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot?
And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Drew Sample, an 11-yard touchdown.
And the Bengals are closing in on a 9th victory on the year as they extend their lead. And this win now going to look a little more lopsided on the scoreboard, CD. Now, some may have run out the clock in that scenario, but they wanted to put their foot on the gas, get one more touchdown, and they did just that.
Well, partner, I would say the traditionalists not overly excited about that score. They like to see the game played a little bit differently. But what you can't argue with is their execution of that play, because it played out exactly as it was drawn up. It almost would have been a shame not to finish with such a well-run play.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
One last shot for Richardson.
And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game.
Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit